Which is more important, the journey or the destination? And the other replied, it's the company.
So, you guys saw the intro, right? It looks dope.
What intro?
The intro that Colin made. You
intro
didn't
that
see
Colin
it?
made.
Not yet. I've been my head's been
Want to do
down.
any
Like
kind of intro where it's like,
I
hey,
got
welcome
it.
back to this
Yes,
episode.
yes.
You don't
I've
say
got
what
that
episode is
intro.
in case it's
He's
switched.
got it.
welcome
Okay, let's
back.
Well, yeah, we're here again. Or
We're
Stay
here
focused.
again.
something like that.
got-
It's
I got
us.
the
Something
intro.
like that.
Bert has it.
Oh,
got
he's
the
got
intro.
it. Okay, do it.
Wait,
Until I memorize it, that's gonna have to be this.
what?
Welcome to our podcast, The Company, where we give you an inside look into what we're dealing with on the daily with our co-founders. First, we have TT, Tamika Jones, Tequila Tam, Market Price Tamie. My authentic code is luxury. Give it up for Tamie! Yay!
And Tamia, you forgot Tamia.
Oh, and Tamia. And Mia, the million nicknames, Tamia. Next, it's the muscles of the operation, Mr. 10 and 12 himself. Let's hear it for Jay. Yeah!
But you are enough, Jay.
You are enough, Mr. 10 and 12.
You were enough.
Every K-pop band needs that extremely, ridiculously good-looking one that can't sing or dance. I'm your guy, it's Bert. We are sponsored by our own company, Flowin.
Let's go.
Yeah. So that's our intro. But let's actually get straight to it, dude. We have a special guest-ish, special host, special producer. So if you watched our podcasts, you'll notice that they have a really, really dope intro. You've probably seen him all over our social. He's the good-looking one with the beard that's always, super charismatic on camera. That's our boy Calvin. Say what's up. Just kind of give everybody a bow. Come on over.
The man of many talents.
This is our boy right here, Calvin. So thank you. Obviously, we're excited to just have him around when we get him, right? Mm-hmm.
That's great.
All right, so we'll jump right into it. We've had a really, really big week. A lot of stuff has happened. We like to jump into kind of our challenges and then kind of, what's and our wins, right? So I think the first place is let's actually celebrate our first win, which is Amazon is out the door. It's spreading out through all the DCs. And
we hit our TikTok shoppable challenge.
before we go there, but like on Amazon, like we got a grip of 5-star reviews.
Oh,
Yeah.
There
the
might have been
reviews
a
are
friend or
rolling.
two sneaking in there, but let's be honest, like that's a big deal. We're
That
off to a
is.
great start. I know that there are people texting me saying, "Oh my gosh, this is actually super good. I thought the mocha was legit, but that cold brew is on fire." And then another guy was like actually debating. It's like, "No, man, that caramel. Like Bert told me the caramel was gonna be hot, and he was all over it." So people are tripping out on like how good our coffee is. Jay, you had a really interesting conversation just last night about it, right?
Yeah, it was great because when you look at our coffee, it's obviously a premium product. It's got nootropics, really good stuff in it. And most people, when they engage the can, they're like,
organic coffee.
well, yes, organic coffee. Just
Organic maple syrup.
everything amazing that you can put into a very good for you coffee we've put in there. And usually very good for you means, I don't think it's going to taste that good. And so we have a guy who tried our coffee through a friend, and he's a distributor of snacks and beverages. And he was like, I have to sell this product. It is that good. He carries some imported coffee that's lower price point, very mass. And he's like, I can see why anyone would be willing to pay $4, $2 or $3 more per can for this product. It tastes that good and it's that much better for you. And so really exciting, good stuff. Good job, T.
Good job, T.
Good job.
And he's not the only one. So on Monday, we're going to be meeting a friend. Y'all know Coco Vin. He also has his brother-in-law distributing product all over all the beach cities, his own brand. And Coco Joe, we're going to meet him on Monday. But Joe's been drinking our coffee.
Daily?
And he's bumped. He basically said he used to always drink a quad Blonde from Starbucks. I don't know what that is. But he's like, he's thrown that out and he's
Do
replaced
you know
it
how
with
bad
us.
that is for you? The Starbucks. It's got 38 grams of of sugar in each bottle.
I don't know what he's drinking.
white
but
sugar.
He switched. He
Okay.
switched.
Of
He's
bleached sugar. That's what
Yeah.
white sugar is. It's bleached,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
and that's why you should. Yeah.
Like
We-
it's like
we-
a
we've all-
Snickers
we-
bar inside a like a bottle.
We've all seen the Netflix documentaries on sugar.
I don't think everybody has. I think people
I don't
don't
think
even
They talk
everybody
understand.
about
has.
like how similar it is, like formulaically, scientifically, to something like a cocaine, where it's a very specific extract out of a plant, purified. It's dangerous, right? So that's why we sweetened ours with maple syrup, and that's really dope. Organic
Natural
maple syrup,
natural sugar of the earth.
and not a lot of it.
Right.
And so it's good, but really excited because he's been on our stuff.
Did
And
you say
so
4?
He
a day?
he'll do a quad shot.
A quad shot. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
he'll
never
do a
mind.
quad shot.
I was like, thinking
and he's
drank
like,
four.
he said now he's on the Flowin. He's actually allergic to almond, so he's just doing the oat milk, the
Okay.
caramel, and the black. And he's like, he's all over them. He
Good.
loves them. Excuse me, and I'm burping. Are we editing
That's
that, or are
hot.
we keeping that? So anyway,
It's
we're
authentic.
meeting him on Monday. The other day, I came back from a hike, and in my neighborhood, I don't know if anybody knows, but there's a brand called, Koreans call it Pocari Sweat. And it's basically a Korean Gatorade. And
Is it that white one with the blue words?
yeah.
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 That
yeah.
stuff is good.
Is it?
It is. It tastes amazing.
Growing up on it, I hated it.
It's
dude.
super
I
bad
was
for
like,
you, though.
dude, this is so like ghetto, not Gatorade. I hate this. But I saw this big old van,
So
like
bougie.
branded Pocari Sweat, like in my neighborhood, and I was like, what the heck is this? What's going on here?
Uh-huh.
And obviously, we're looking for people to distribute, sell, move the product, etc. So I just dropped a can of caramel and my business card, and dude, hit me
Where'd
back.
you leave it?
I left it on the window. It might have been there for like 7 days in the sun, but you know, whatever, dude. He didn't die.
So
apparently.
wait, you left it like
It
on-
stayed
how did
there
you stay,
every day?
Like leave it on the
What did
window.
you do, like,
I
poison the
kinda
guy?
wanna
It's a
understand,
big
like,
old van, like those big
Okay.
old vans. Like
Okay.
the window ledges are
That you
deep.
can get kidnapped from.
Okay.
Right, the window ledges are deep, right? So I left the can. I scotch taped some sticker, or yeah,
You scotch taped your card on it?
my business card.
I
on
love
it,
that. That's a hack.
And I just dropped it on like on the window, and then had him like told him to text me,
And he hit you back?
and he hit me back. So gonna be jumping on a call with him later today. We'll see. Like, so what's going on? Obviously, we're putting it out there. Like, of all the things that I think about when we think about our lessons in Flowin and whatnot, the one that I've been gravitating to a lot lately is actually synchronicity. You're hearing it a lot from me. It's consistent with some of my paradigm, but you know, putting myself out there, expecting that good things will emerge, right? And so that's kind of how we're doing it. And Jay, you're starting to do it. Tamie, why don't you tell us about locking up a big order for us?
Oh, like JLux label?
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
another corporate.
You got a
order.
big order out of that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang.
I've already picked up 8 cases. We got to deliver it, but yeah, got 8 cases in, so that's a big deal. These are all wins. Our homie Yomi, he picked up 8 cases for
Is that
Evite.
Evite?
Yep.
I think
picked
we
up 2
need
cases for Evite.
a Cybertruck to like wrapped Cybertruck to make our deliveries.
Did you get your Cybertruck email?
I did.
I got mine too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't afford it. I've got this
No,
business.
neither can I. No, right now. Yeah, no, yeah. It's not.
You guys
happening.
like the
soon.
Cybertruck?
I love the Cybertruck.
I don't care.
Have you?
I would rather have the VW Bug, the bus. That's the one that I want.
Yeah, I like that. That's cute. Character.
Yeah.
Well,
But I'd be down for a Cybertruck.
the steering wheel. You know how like on a car you have to turn the steering wheel like twice over? The Cybertruck, it only goes there to there, and it's because both sets of wheels turn when you turn, so the turn radius is tiny.
Oh,
So
wow.
the turn radius on that Cybertruck is better than my sedan compact car.
Wow.
So it's pretty fun to drive, and then like.
Oh,
it's
you've
just-
driven it?
I've sat in one, and then
Oh, man.
and then I drove it too, and it was just great. Like the drive is great, and then it's pretty fun. So I think that we need to be delivering Flowin from a Cybertruck.
I began.
And if Elon catches wind of this pod, then and he sees it and he wants to donate a few Cybertrucks Flowin so that we can share flow with the world, I think he should definitely do that.
You know, we'll make it a 1-for-1 exchange.
We'll make it a
We'll give him a case of Flowin.
a case of Flowin for 12 pack of Cybertrucks.
Yes.
Yes.
And we'll load up his companies. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe do a
that'd be fun.
collab.
We can do a collab.
There you go.
Hackathons.
Yeah.
So those are some big wins for us, obviously. So let's see where it goes. Next, my posture and a lot of umming. Next, we have some big wins that we want to talk about on TikTok. But actually, before we do, let's save it. Let's talk about TikTok. No. I'm sorry. I remember now. So the other thing that I want to talk about is cafe.
Oh. Ooh. That's big news too.
So we kind of sat on the news because it was still in the works. But this is, again, synchronicity, right? This is really exciting for us. We always had baked in our business model the idea of opening up our owned retail or franchise retail via cafes and coffee shops. And that was for about 12 to 24 months out.
At least.
Yeah. Coincidentally, you guys know Ashley. She's actually had in her long game, she's been wanting to open up a cafe on her own. And one of her friends was actually in the process of selling their cafe, broke escrow, needed to get out because they have health issues. They wanted to go back to their country. Go back to your country. That's what he wanted to do.
Whoa.
He had health issues.
Whoa, bro.
He had health issues.
Where are we going with this?
He was selling his cafe, and it broke escrow. And
I'm still stuck on the go back to your country.
But don't repeat it.
You've been watching too many Netflix, bro.
It's what I do. I find random things.
All right,
Apparently, I'm Mr. Random, right?
Okay.
You are very, very random.
Okay, go.
Yes.
Okay. So Ashley got the cafe.
So
Locked
yeah,
in.
I mean, basically,
Is it locked?
It's pretty much locked.
Okay.
He basically reached out to her to see if she'd be willing to buy it off him. So
Amazing.
she did, and our goal now is to see if we can find ways to leverage it, take advantage of the open arms that she's kind of welcoming us with, to do what we can with Flowin. Tamie, we're already talking about some meditation sessions or events,
Breath work.
etc. Breath work. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to dive into two kind of conversation work streams. One was really around events and maybe potentially leveraging a cafe to do some of those things. And then the second is where Omri and I maybe need a little bit of help, where we actually also launched TikTok. We launched TikTok. Products are ready to ship. We did 5 shoppable videos, which is TikTok challenges. So what TikTok is doing is it's educating and encouraging sellers to sell as much as buyers to buy. And one of the ways they're doing it, they're putting these seller challenges in place. And one of the first challenges is to create 5 shoppable videos. And we were late. And so we jammed out 5 really, really fast.
Yours were awesome.
You know what? There was one really good one where
What happened to the hiking one? I didn't see it there.
It was on there.
Okay.
It was on there, but
Okay.
there wasn't a ton of hiking. But I think our immediate takeaway from that is we think there's a lot of room to improve, right? Not just the content itself, but actually explain the product and or what our sales pitch is, right? So we're starting that where we're going to want to make improvements on that. So those are kind of the 2 work streams that are top of mind for us. And going back to events, cafe, etc. I just kind of want to open up the floor, because this was a long ass intro by Bert, to give us an opportunity to kind of riff on some of the things that we're thinking about and how we might be able to turn these things into real community oriented events. So I'll let you 2 kind of take it away.
Are we talking about TikTok or are we talking about the cafe?
Cafes. Let's focus on
Well-
events, cafes, etc.
The dream is to have, Cafe Flowin be the the home base for our community to like come to and experience us, experience the lifestyle, to touch us in real life, to connect with us in real life, where we can host, regular group meditations, breath work, workshops of all types, host lectures, performances. We can have Calvin perform. We can make it a very fun home for our Flowin community, and it's a place where people, the coffee shop is a very special place in its organic like purpose of what it is. Like what I loved about Asia for me was the coffee culture in Vietnam, where everybody always took the time to like, no matter what, like they'll just meet their friends and like have coffee, and it's like cool, where it's like here we're stressed if like we take 15 minutes out to break from work, so, or if we're caught talking to our coworker for too long or something like that. But like I do love and value just the opportunity that coffee creates for us to like connect over coffee or tea, like people can meet, and so anyways, roundabout way of saying like our coffee shop will just be able to provide that place for where people can hang out and socialize with or not socialize with like-minded people who like resonate with the live and flow movement and lifestyle, and just like get creative with it and see what it can become. And I just would be really, really excited to do that. And so I'm excited at the opportunity to try some of these things at Cafe Joanne and test that out for now. But
you said Cafe Flowin.
Cafe Flowin, yeah, that's what I want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
So
goal,
are we doing
right?
an on-air battle here where we like leverage ourselves towards Bert to convince his wife to like change the name
think
from Joanne to Flowin? Because like Joanne's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
It's the name of the previous owner's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But it reminds me of a fabric company, I just saying,
Joe
It reminds me of like,
It's just like, what do you guys sell? Fabric and coffee?
There's time. It's cool because it's a turnkey operation.
Exactly.
But we'll actually.
I did see
But we're
this. My
publicly
dream.
stating this, and we're gonna like, Ashley, if
put
you're
it out
watching, just remember
We support you.
we support you and we
We
love you, but you
support
should
you.
change the name to Cafe Flowin immediately because currently it makes it feel like there's coffee and fabric.
Jay's extra skill is he's really, really good at painting. He'll paint the letters flowing for you over. No, well,
Painting?
Calvin can do it. Calvin's a
Calvin
a
actually
builder.
is super talented.
Yeah.
Do you not know that Tammie's code is luxury? So the letters are going to be carved out of pure crystal.
Yeah.
Okay. And you do know I can get cubic zirconia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Snap.
Yeah.
Well, I where I want to take this is, Jay, you had us listening to a 3-hour podcast last week. The previous
That was a great podcast episode, by the way.
Previously, he had us go back and reread chapter 10 of a book. This time, he had us listen to a 3-hour podcast. Tell us about that. And we learned a lot from it.
The podcast?
Yeah, tell us about why you did that.
Because it was
why Dale was
cool,
giving us
right?
homework.
No,
man.
it's-
Why?
I'm
It
too old
was
for this
great.
shit, dude. I don't need
I
no more
just-
homework.
Meanwhile, Bert sends us videos of that's not flowing.
People getting in fights and yelling and screaming at each other. That's not flowing. And he's like, hey, let's add this to our social media. And we should. We definitely can, and we will. I think everybody's
Calvin?
just been all over the place with busy.
Patronizing. No,
Yes.
just kidding.
But yeah, no, I share it
We've been
because
so busy. I'm exhausted.
I shared the last chapter of Flowin or Flow. You're exhausted? Here, drink some coffee, girl.
I know. Can somebody grab my coffee? It's on
Yes,
the table.
absolutely.
Please.
Is it because of the 2-hour drive? to
Yeah,
get here?
it was like a
Bruh.
When
I
it's
was
hot
like
and you
2
drive
hours.
for 2 hours.
Dude.
No,
So I'm
but
gonna
I
plug
had air
Elon
conditioning.
again, where it's like if you have a Tesla with full self-driving, all you need to do is push the button, cover the camera that's monitoring you with a Post-it. That's a hack that I learned on a trip to
Thank you.
Mammoth, and have it just drive you here while you push a button and watch your phone. But I don't do that. Maybe I do.
Yeah, lucky you. Lucky you.
But so I do still think that now we're plugging Tesla.
Or I
think we
could
should
just get a driver.
Cybertrucks donated to us for delivery.
Sponsored by Tesla.
Sponsored by Elon. I mean, what
do
a
it.
bet. Yeah, that boy needs flow.
You could use a little bit.
Yeah.
Good. I'm also listening
But he's
to
also
his book.
flowing.
Oh yeah,
I'm listening to the book that you recommended, and then I learned all about Howard Schultz.
So yeah, the
that's
Howard Schultz story is that one thing that I
If
took
you
away
don't
from
know-
him, if you don't know, is that
He is the person that made
the founder
Starbucks.
of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, well, not necessarily the founder of
CEO
Starbucks, but
of
CEO of Starbucks that made Starbucks what it is. But originally, it was a coffee bean company, and they sold coffee beans for years upon years upon years upon years. And actually, Starbucks was bought by Howard Schultz from its original owner, who Howard had worked for many years ago. And if you looked at the brand arc, it took just 10 years to get from that first step from we're a coffee bean company to we're now opening up cafes. There were
And they
actually
didn't want to open cafes. It was Howard that went to
wanted to
Europe
open-
and saw it and wanted to bring it back.
and loved the idea of connective spaces, right? And I think that's what you were getting at.
He had a
is
great
that
heart in it. His heart was in it.
It's interesting because we think about the multiple waves, the third wave of coffee, and it introduced, you like to talk about this, the third place. I can tell you this much, I don't go to Starbucks to hang with nobody.
No, not anymore.
not
I'm like,
anymore.
in my neighborhood.
But do you
it's
remember
like-
Friends?
Yeah.
Do you remember Friends, the
I don't
show?
want to touch anything.
Do you remember the Friends show?
Yeah.
They would go to what was the coffee place called?
Central
Central
Perks.
Perk.
Central Perks, right? Like I always wanted
Young
to, a
guns.
shop. How
You're
do you even
old
know
enough.
this, Omri?
Yeah,
I
Omri.
thought you guys were gonna say Joanne's.
No, Central Perk.
Central Perk.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
that vibe where people went and connected and hung out as if it was their third place really embodied what I think Starbucks took advantage of in their growth. And so, but there's no spaces like that anymore, one. And then I think the way that you kind of host a space and the energy that you want to create around it, if you're not intentional about wanting to create that energy of connection and community, and it's not like the most important thing in the brand deck, then it's going to start to fade. And so I'm not knocking what's been happening with Starbucks or any other business, but you're seeing a world where as things have shifted, a lot of these places feel like I'm selling liquid in a box, right? Somewhere in a strip mall, or and then the move to the drive-throughs, right? It's actually and the move
And the
to
apps.
I'm gonna do an app, and so I'm just gonna come in here and grab it and go, and you're shifting away from third place to the quick place again and fast pace again. And I'm not saying that our commitment would be, oh, we should make this place a place where it takes you a long, long time to get your order, because we should be able to make coffee really quickly.
But you know what? I'm realizing now as I hear what you're saying, I actually missed part of the point of what Howard was complaining about. He was complaining about the app, right? It was a big success, but he was also complaining about it in a big way. And I realized now that you're saying it, how to connect the dots. He's complaining because his thesis around Starbucks was to create that third place, a place where you can actually commune and come together. And the app actually contras that, right? People, yes, there are mechanical things that make people are stepping all over one another's orders and whatnot, but you're literally going in, grabbing, and get the F out.
Right. But not only that, you got to think about the model of an app where you're like there's a treasury behind this app. Like there's $1.4 billion loaded in Starbucks app credits at any given time, right?
Yeah.
And so you've moved, there's this business model called the breakage business model. And a lot of gyms play this business model out where like you basically collect everybody's money and expect that 90% of people won't show up. Only 10% of the people that pay for their gym membership will actually go to the gym. It's called the breakage model, where you're collecting money but not delivering the value, knowing full well that your customer isn't going to come claim that value that they paid for. And so all these gift cards, all of the app purchases, that $1.4 billion that Starbucks has collected, they've now stepped further and further and further into the breakage business model, which is great for cash. But all of a sudden, when you kind of pull that out over a long period of time, it's bad for the customer. It's bad for the brand.
Yeah. I mean, it's lost value to the customer.
It's diminished. I mean, it's basically you're not necessarily stealing, you're helping your customer lose money, right?
Yeah.
And so if The responsible way to potentially go about this, if you still wanted to load that app, is to be really clear and send messaging to say, hey, you have this balance, please use it. Or if you're not going to use it, let me deliver this value back to you in cash. That would be a way to escape the breakage model. And I think, not that I'm telling Starbucks what to do, because I don't have the right to, we don't have the right to do that. But if you really cared about your customer as a brand, right? Like, sometimes I think about the brand as the things that you do for your customer that you cannot monetize and profit from. That's what the brand is, what a brand is, right? Otherwise, it's the product. There's the product and the brand. The product is just the thing that you give your customer and you get the value back. But your brand is what you deliver that you don't get paid for, right? And so I'm just saying, if we did have an app and we did collect money and we had $1.4 billion in treasury from it, and we knew that 90% of people or 60% of people wouldn't use it, I think I would say we should find a way to give that value back to the customer quickly so that we could put it back in their pockets. But that doesn't, I mean, I think I took a little bit of a fork in the road away from the concept of what we want to do with our cafe, right?
I mean, with our cafe, with our events, etc. Tamie, that drive took something out of you, homegirl. Turns out T is she's waiting for the sun to go down right now.
No, I'm good.
You're good? You're good. So we've actually had a, I don't know, it was pretty good, but bumpy week, right? Like, there's a lot going on. Like, when you hear this and you think about what we want to deliver to our community, how does that make you feel specifically, right? Like, what do you want to do?
Well, that's why, I really was I loved the podcast with Howard Schultz, because his kind of original purpose with Starbucks is kind of what I see for our cafe, right? But in the modern way of if you look at all the things in this day and age, especially in LA, it's if you want to hang out with your friends, you have to do it over a meal at a restaurant, which you got to hey, let's meet at this restaurant, and
$200.
yeah, and then it's if you go work out, which a lot of people use the gym to socialize too, it's you don't hang out, it's not comfortable. And then
You don't want to kick it after you get all sweaty.
yeah, and then it's everything revolves around having to go to it has to be a plan. Whereas if you have a spot, you could just post up and chill, and people can come, and there's things that might benefit you to participate in or to not, and have it be really comfortable. And I'm not talking the traditional cafe of just a bunch of chairs and tables, but place a meditation corner with the right seating for that, and another area, just all of it, a wellness place cafe that it doesn't exist right now, right? And so
Yes.
I'm trying to take what we know and create the space that I would just want to hang out with. Right now I'm lucky enough to live by the beach where I can just go chill at the beach, and it's my therapy. It's you're outside and it's fresh, but and friends can come and go and pass. But that's the best part is you don't have to have a real plan. If you have a cafe like that and you just know that you can get outside the house and maybe be around other people, that is cool.
I love the thesis of it. What I often do is, because I've been working with Jay long enough where he's 12 years ahead, I like to pull it back and say, okay, well, what's the one thing we're going to do next? So if I were to pin that on you and say, okay, well, we have this big idea around what we want that cafe to be. Describe to me one thing, one event, one specific, you would want to do first. Just Cafe Flowin. We're actually crossing out the JOAA and it's Cafe Flowin, and Tamie gets to do what she wants. Day one, what's the first thing you would do?
I don't think it's just one thing, but it'll have a morning group meditation and breath work session, and then maybe later in the day have a guest speaker, or in the later in the afternoon something like a performer or a social hour with social tonics or with kava bar or with just creating community, and we can collaborate and do host dinners there, even host kind of mastermind dinners, or just have it be the centralized place to do different things.
As you said that, a lot of things started to rattle in my head. right?
Sorry, and like themed brunch, like just themed things that can like speak to anything under the umbrella of flow or any type of person. Like we can highlight, we can have topics, like we can have sessions that are just, you get to know your community. Like once you start, you can like iterate and grow with your community and see what your community likes, right? And I think that's the beauty of it. And just anything in that wellness space and collaborating with people. There's so many people that are so talented and have interest in different things, and giving them the platform to share that within our community at our cafe would be amazing.
I think I heard a lot of things, and I think it's kind of dope actually. I do imagine that putting on these robust events frequently can actually become kind of taxing. But I think about the first thing you said, morning meditation. You guide us through a Monday meditation a morning meditation every Monday. I think that thing is super dope. I'm learning a lot through it, a different paradigm, how to see the world, how to interact with it. I think that's super interesting. Like if we were to actually like just say, hey, you know what, open mic or a day where Calvin's gonna come out and jam for 15 minutes or 3 minutes and kick it. Ashley's hiring somebody that she's worked with for some time that also is a musician. I think a drummer primarily, but I'm like, I need to connect him with Calvin, right? I think there is the makings of a community if the intention is there.
Yeah, I mean, that is the intention of what Flowin is to create that community where people feel seen and we can connect over things that like really matter and things that are in real life and support each other, inspire each other, and then like just share, right? Like we can highlight different artists, whether it's musician or actual art, like paint nights. We can just a place like it. I mean, we live in 2024 where like the traditional thing isn't traditional anymore. Like everything is like, it has so many different forms it can take, right? Like under one house. So that's like why it's cool. It used to be cool to like be one thing, and then when somebody changes it and you're like, oh shit, they're the first to like do something different. But now everyone's doing something different. So that's cool. So I feel like, yeah, the traditional cafe of like, hey, I'm just gonna have my coffee here and then like go, like it's gonna change into what we're thinking about. It has that possibility to do that. And we have the opportunity to be the first person to do it in LA.
All right. Well, I think where we're at, Jay, did you want to comment before I close this?
No, I definitely want to comment, right? Shit. Fuck.
Damn, it almost.
But hell yeah, I want to comment.
This close, guys, this
So
close.
check it out. Like it is exhausting to live today. It is exhausting. There's so much
Tell me
fucking
about it.
noise, right? Everywhere
Is
we
this
go.
Orange County commute?
Jesus.
It's orange. It's not
We
just
need to-
orange, but like, look, like
We need to move headquarters.
the emails, right? Like you wake up, fucking emails, fucking social media, fucking text messages, phone calls, inbound phone calls, trying to telemarket you something, keeping up with friends on 6 different platforms, following everybody's stories so that you at least like let them feel like you're caught up in their lives. And then just if you missed something, somebody says to you, didn't you see it on my stories? And you're like, oh no, I didn't. Like that's embarrassing now. Like
No, it's not. I'm like,
well, that's because
because
you're super cool and you're okay. But like I am made to feel bad sometimes for not keeping up with things, right? And it's like shit. Like I don't. It's so your central nervous system is just constant like go in this world in this digital age, and it isn't gonna get any easier. AI is gonna make this whole shit harder and faster. So when I think about going into a space and the space that we want to create is like the first thing I think the feeling is like disarm you, like get you from that place of like, fuck, like what's about to happen next to like, just let it go.
Yeah.
Come into our space and just let it all go. And so the one thing I would ask from Cafe Flowin is an ambiance. The ambiance and that space has to make me feel disarmed. And not relaxed yet because that's on me, but at least disarmed where I'm in a place where it's like, this is the energy saying, hey, look, it is okay to let everything fucking go for yourself because you're worth it and you deserve this moment. It's the first thing. You walk into our space and that's what you feel, disarmed, right? Then the next thing is that I would want to offer a product or service that then helps you recharge not just the liquid coffee, but really recharge energetically. I'll say that energetically first because this is all
What
about
meditation
energy,
does.
right? For some of us, soulfully, for some of us, spiritually, right? Recharge energetically, soulfully, spiritually. And that is what meditation does. Meditation does that, right? Now, a lot of times meditation makes you feel like, well, there's a bunch of spiritual woo-woo in there, right? Like that's what, I've always felt like that. Walk into this meditation thing and I'm not wearing like a white gown and like wearing the necklaces and everything. I just don't belong here. Well, let's create a modern mindfulness wellness platform that fosters inclusiveness and welcomes everyone that's not necessarily so spiritually inclined.
It's not even it's like your human like birthright. Like that's you have the ability to meditate, which is just being present. That's like just a human thing that you can do. It's not like a hey, because I'm practicing this spiritual like path or this like it's
there are connotations to
There
Hinduism
are.
and Buddhism.
No, there are,
with
because-
meditation that people are actually kind of like, oh, I probably shouldn't engage in that because it counters my spiritual beliefs or my religious beliefs. And when you start creating spiritual context all over the walls, it immediately shuts all those people out. And our goal is to say, hey, this isn't about spirituality. There can be spirituality in it if you find it for yourself, but this is about energy. And it's just about energy. It's about neuroscience, how your brain operates and how we can change the waves of your brain pattern and the psychology of flow.
And I want to address that because when I hear Tammie's tone, that's how I feel. And I feel it from a different angle, from a different perspective.
But you feel welcomed or you feel...
No. Like, there was a little bit of like, no, it's not that, right? And I feel that in certain instances, and I'll get there. But I know that when I first started to talk about and explore concepts of flow, going to that meditation session that Tamie leads and stuff, I went in with some trepidation. Right now, I've gone through Headspace, so I'm not completely like dark on understanding what it is. But I know that there are people like me, evangelical Christians, 50 some odd % of America, that at the very least, many of them are gonna be like, I don't know, meditation sounds scary, right? Yoga sounds scary, right? New Age sounds spooky, right? And for me, a lot of why I'm going into this and exploring this with open arms is, I think a fear approach is reflective of somebody who doesn't understand what God's created for them, right? And to be afraid of creation that we're supposed to, be a steward over and not understand, like, hey, not to be able to explore, it comes from a place of fear, and I don't think that's the right approach. Now, with that said, I still have some trepidations, and I'm still trying to be thoughtful as I engage, right? But for Tamie to react instinctually the way she did is, to me, an honest and necessary and natural reaction, because there's a large subpopulation in America that is going to cause her to be a little bit defensive, right? And say, I don't know, your shit's kind of weird to me, right? In the same way that as a Christian, somebody will say something, I'm like, I might be defensive. No, that's not what Christianity is. Donald Trump ain't, right? That's like a thing, right? So I think...
Bro.
Did you just...
Whoa.
I didn't. I cut the statement off. No, but here's where I'm going with that, though.
Wait.
Know who you are.
Where's
and
Michael
use that as a
Jordan?
platform to explore, right? And with that said, like, I am excited to learn more about this so that we can actually bring this. Because, like, if you were to tell me there's a cafe where you come in and it invites you, when you sit down, it's almost kind of known thing. People expect you to, like, hey, give them a moment. They're going to take 3 to 5 minutes and just shut down and meditate and quiet themselves, right? And people don't think that's weird. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, and there's a community of people where we're like, we have a present hour where, everyone just is like, and if you go to Spain, if you go to Barcelona and all those countries where they have siesta, you go to all their cafes and no one's on their laptops. it's not a thing there.
Yeah.
It's not a thing anywhere else in the world
Yeah.
besides America, where we're like
Yeah.
constantly like glued. I mean, people are glued to their devices, but there's like, they're still living in real life in other parts of the world and enjoying each other's presence. But like, if we have like a present hour, just like, hey, you come to this cafe and like, it's like you go to a Starbucks and it's like, it's not personal anymore. You go into most cafes, it's not personal. It's very quiet. Like, no one looks at each other. You don't want to talk to anyone because you're looking at your phone or whatever. It's like, yeah, what Jay said, we want to create the experience of the ambience. Like, you come in, you see us, we're like, hey, what's up? We know people, we get to know people. We have like community, and like, it's a place where people feel comfortable and they want to keep coming back, and they can like not just get their coffee there. They could get some great food. They could like be around friends. They could do some breath work. They could get their mindfulness in, and then they could chill. And I mean, yeah, we live in a day and age where most of us can live remote or work remotely, and like, sometimes people need to get out of the house and they just want to like chill somewhere.
But that's
you know
why we crave connection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we crave it more than ever because we're so disconnected because of remote work. It's not
Right.
that we should go back to in-office work, but just acknowledge that, hey,
that
our
was like
society has
slavery.
changed, our technology has advanced us, and we are not humanistically evolving as fast as our technology is.
I have a
Right.
thought. So you guys spent 7 minutes walking through the cafe once.
Well, I haven't finished.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I've just talked to you about meditation,
never
right?
finished, though.
Okay,
Let's
so
keep that real.
the meditation piece is like, look, I totally get it that if you're terrified of meditation, we want to welcome you because we're not going to sell you a religious belief or contra your religious belief. This meditation is just about getting your brain activity
Yes.
as close to
Yes.
alpha as possible, and to slow you down and get back to the present. All of our anxiety as humans is created by time traveling. We're worried about something that hasn't happened yet because of something our subconscious mind is telling us from our past, right? So that's what the anxiety is. We're time traveling. We're in the future. When you're in the present and you're really, really locked in the present, you don't have that. So meditation, breath work will bring you back to that present, full moment awareness, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is a product that we can offer to our community.
And how you regulate your nervous system. And it goes back to science of like,
Yes.
it is. It's not this. It's just like, it's like, I feel like it may be in a decade, maybe less than that, will for sure, like, society, I feel like meditation will be something that is like what you just, it's like breathing. You have to learn to do it. It's a tool. It's like, this is how you access your subconscious mind. This is how you like, it's not about like, hey, I need to be this Buddha monk. It's, hey, did you know that meditation is what allows you to access your subconscious mind and get those thoughts and reprogram, like heal from traumas and all, like create new like neural pathways and habits, like, and you can do that through meditation. It has nothing to, I mean, if you just want to look at the science of it, you can look at what happens to your brain. There's so much like scientific evidence of what happens to your brain while you're meditating and what being present does and how to regulate, how it affects the rest of your cells in your body and your nervous system. So it's like when people like come to me and they're like, ooh, I'm like, you just have a very big misunderstanding of meditation is
You can't
actually
say it
just
that
like,
way.
no,
Because-
it's not that. It's just
Let-
You have
know
a
what?
big misunderstanding. It's like
what?
that,
No,
people
because-
don't hear that. Though.
No,
People
but-
immediately
no,
like, oh
but-
my God,
no,
you're
it's
saying I
not.
misunderstand?
Here-
Go fuck yourself.
here's
right?
what
No,
I- we-
because
we-
you're like, did you know? Because it's like, I'm also the like spiritual hippie that like goes into light energy, goes into like I can.
And that's great,
I can
which
go
is
there,
fine.
but I can also understand.
like-
I know what
Right.
meditation is.
Where I actually have come, like we've had conversations that kind of danced around this. I've actually come to a place where I'd rather Tamie speak the way is honest and native to you about these things, right?
Yeah, I can't change it.
And,
if I tried.
and here's the thing, right?
What I'm
Like,
saying is
that
kill them
doesn't
with
ha-
softness, right?
No, I will, but
yeah,
it's,
like
it's just,
disarm them with
That's okay.
softness
But I
rather
think-
than like you have a misunderstanding.
And
It's
then
like,
we'll
well,
have-
let me show
yeah,
you
and then-
how
Right.
to envelop you
And then
welcome
we'll
you.
eventually have a uniform that's a little bit more of a uniform voice that's total brand. But part of this is going through the process of understanding 3 different perspectives, right? And I want all of Tamie to be out there.
That
Because
is
like
true. Because she's the one hosting, leading.
and she's also been there for over a decade, right?
Right.
And like if we disempower her voice as she wants to express it,
Then we don't honor the homage or legacy from which some of this great stuff comes.
So I'm only gonna cut Jay off when he cuts off Tamie. But
No, but it's
really,
it's right. But it's like I'm just saying that came out of my mouth in this conversation. But like I've spoken to people about it that were like, you know, really new or like, and I'm just like, but it's really about what it does to your brain. It's like this and that, and I explain it in that manner, but it's like, yeah, like, and that's what we want to share, right? We want to give people the knowledge to know that like, hey, you have these innate tools within yourself that can really do a lot for you.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
need anything. It's free. Like you can just do these techniques that might help you get there. Whatever techniques work the best for you, whether it's learning the science behind it that gets you motivated to do it, being in a group of people that get you motivated to do it, or just, learning, does breath work help? Does sound and music help you get there? Does guided meditation help? You guys like the guided. I prefer I prefer no guidance, right? But like there's
we're level 1.
Yeah, I know,
We're
but
white
there's, like-
belts, yellow belts.
there's different types, and there's no right or wrong. It's like what can just get you there, because a really good meditation, if you really just sit and you're there, what's actually happening to your body, it's resting and replenishing. You get actual deep rest from meditation. You can do a 20-minute transcendental meditation with just a mantra and feel refreshed and awake after that. And it literally, that happens to multiple people. And so it's just a tool. It's like just when you have a crazy day and you just need a break and you go and you sit at a park or you go for a walk, it's just the same thing. It's a different outlet or different way of doing it. But it's just, we want to share this with everybody because it has nothing to do with spirituality or whatever. It's like your body and your mind work this way. And when you can just make it coherent and it's one, you can do so many things, so many changes,
So
positive
I
changes.
have a tangible, practical ask based off of what we said here.
But I'm not done.
It's never done.
Recharge flow before. So like we're really talking about recharging people's flow
Yeah.
before they get the coffee, which recharges their body, right? Or both,
Yeah.
right? And that's just the one element where we're talking. Well, it's not one element, but it's a big part of it. Where there's obviously mindfulness around meditation, and there's breath work, right? The other piece that I would dream of is I think that there's a lot of research around sleep that's coming into the public's knowledge space, right? Something like if you take a 20-minute nap per day, you reduce your chance of heart disease by 68%. There is no medicine in the world, Western medicine especially, or Eastern medicine, that could possibly reduce the chance of heart disease by that. And there's no causal in some of this, but there's associative data, and the data set's really, really large, right? That taking a 20-minute nap every day will allow you to live longer and better physically and mentally. It's clear, right? And so if you look at some of the mindfulness opportunities around that, there's sound baths, right? There is just transcendental meditation where there's quietude, there's solitude, there's silence, right? Some of these other things are also things that we can offer to that community, right? And so the idea that there's this workshopping space or this area this communal area inside a cafe that can foster workshops, whether it be meditation, breath work, sound bath, and anything to do with, I would say, mindfulness, but we're modernizing it to give it more energetics, more neuroscience, and more psychology of flow.
Yeah, we can explain the neuroscience to people. Like, you can do an intro to meditation and just show them brain scans. Like, basically what you just said about the nap, like they have studies of long-term meditators have their brains look 7 years younger than their equal partner that
7 to
doesn't.
20 years younger.
7 to 20 years younger. So I'm saying it's like, it's
Is it
literally.
just the brains, or can we do something about the hairline too?
Yeah, you can
I'm pretty
manifest
sure
anything.
it's all there.
It's
I just
all
don't
there.
think that we've gotten far enough with our science and discovery research to understand.
You could always go to Turkey,
You know
but
what's in Turkey?
that's where all the men get their hair done, hair plugs.
I didn't know that.
They're like great at Turkish rugs and in hairlines.
Turkish rug right up in here.
Yeah, for real.
Let's get it.
So, but anyways,
You guys are
guys,
controversy,
think
guys.
about everyone. Everything and everyone is controversy.
What the-
We're all one, but
That's
like
awesome.
controversy. But think about it. Instead of like a wellness looking at it as like a wellness center, look at it like we're merging that into a cafe, right? Which is amazing. And it's like, we would have to work out like what programs are just offered, what people can sign up for. Like people right now, if you go to one of these studios, you can like book the class, whether it's meditation or breath work session or yoga session, whatever. I'm not saying we're doing yoga, but I'm just saying like, or it's a membership, or we can offer a membership where you're a part of our Flowin membership monthly thing, and you can come and participate in any of the workshops whenever. And we have our schedule on the app, and you can sign up for it and let them know.
And then
right?
you do a workshop, and your reward is coffee.
Yeah, and just hang out, like, and just chill, and like, and just know, like, especially, it would be so cool for people who want to get out, and they're like, hey, there's the 9 a.m. meditation at Cafe Flowin. I'm gonna go there, and then I'll just chill and do my calls and work there for the next couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Or take their meetings, whatever it is. There is no place for that. And I think by offering that is exactly what we all need, right? Like we just really need that.
So I'm imagining something, and it doesn't have to go specifically this way, but so we have a cafe right now, Cafe Joanne Flowin, right? And there's 2 seating areas, one that's kind of an aisle and then one that's kind of a main area. That main area, I'm trying to convince Ashley that that's the area that we want most people to sit, right? And I think the chairs aren't as good as they need to be, whatever, right? But I'm imagining the most comfortable seats are there, but we ask people, those who come and sit in that area, we actually ask them to take 3 to 5 minutes, and there's like a little thing crafted by Flowin, some basic instructions. Hey, it's an invite. Thank you for being here. This area is a non-digital session or whatever it is, right? And we just ask them, it's like, hey, just take a moment, breathe, this, that, whatever Tamie might say, and actually have a QR code that gives an opportunity to do a quick scan. And it's like a 3 to 5 minute breath session, and then we come and take their order. Like, is that something that as Flowin we would want to do? And if we wanted to, could we like create that so that when people come into this cafe, they know that this is the first thing that they do? Would that be cool? Is that a weird idea?
No, it's not weird. It could be like, hey, I mean, you can't force people to do stuff, but like
I'm
you can get a
force 'em.
reward. You can get a reward, like a star, like a credit, and you do it 10 times, you get a free drink or something like that. Like where it's like, after they do their order, we ask them to do to remember the breath work. And I think people will thank us afterwards because you always feel great after you've taken a few deep breaths.
I mean, I think if it's like a cultural thing where you walk into this place and you know that they're asking you to do something for you and it's not a big ask, I don't know. I think there's something there.
I mean, there's just so much, guys. Like, I'm so excited about this, like,
All right,
idea and this location.
Let's see how she paints
and
this canvas.
I really want to manifest the place by the beach or something like that, or somewhere cool. But I'll take what I can get right now.
What I will say,
Girl, it's $9 a square foot.
I know.
$9.40 a square foot.
Did I tell you I got the rate for that property?
Dude, when I saw the place, the first thing I thought was, I think if you're in Manhattan Beach, Hermosa, like you might be, but like if you're by nature on a consistent basis, you're more likely to find what you're looking for from a flow standpoint. But the heart of LA is tough, and I feel like that is where it's most needed, right? So, this cafe.
Yeah,
is in
I
the
think
heart of
Los
LA.
Angeles and Figueroa is exactly where it's needed.
Ew.
That's
That's why it's needed there. But that's why. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like that's where people need it the most. Like they're so strung out. Like imagine people that are not like grinding in LA or in like major metros, and then those people in the heart of that city, they're so out of touch.
okay.
So,
So I think we got a lot out of this. I don't know that
no, I got everything.
we have everything concrete yet.
Jay
but
finished.
I think it's concrete enough. It's like
No,
it's an
exactly.
abstract that we say, hey, here's this energy and this like vision that we have, and then how do we fill that out, Ashley?
Until there's
Be a
line
Bert.
items and tasks on Monday, it's not concrete in my opinion.
But
Once
none
it's
of
on
this-
Monday.com.
none of the approval is like, wait, you need to run this up the flagpole, sir.
Once it's on Monday.com, now it's actually like
We can't even lock it on it Monday.
put it
this
on
is,
Monday.
This is
Put it on Monday. Bert has to get approval from Ashley. Okay.
Really?
So so next, I did want to. Are we ready to transition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are
So let's talk about
Very excited
TikTok.
about Cafe Flowin though. Just-
Okay, go for it. What's next?
I think we all are. I'm grateful to my wife for just walking our own path and us being able to see opportunities to help one another. So it's super dope. Next is just ship shop talk, TikTok shop. So Omri has us spinning, got us doing some cool little videos. And frankly, I think we are now starting to embark on how to growth hack the heck out of that platform. And where we are today is we think that there are 3 specific activities that we can do to kind of drive traffic, sales, community to TikTok. The first one that we've already started is shoppable content. The second is starting to reach out to our affiliate network. And then the third is TikTok Live. Now, there's a common denominator on all 3. We can talk about all of those. Where I eventually want us to go is a common denominator on 3 is we need a good sales pitch. It doesn't have to be one, but right now it's like, hey, what's your sales pitch? My dog is cute by Flowin, right? Or whatever, right? I feel like Omri and I, we've just jammed something out there, but I actually want to turn this into a working session where we start to outline, hey, what's our sales pitch going to be? Have a handful of them, give our affiliates a handful of bullets they want to talk to, and start to create some structure so that it's not like, hey, I have 5,000 followers in TikTok and I'm a Flowin affiliate. I don't know what to say, but please buy, cafe, Flowin coffee. I want us to start to create some structure and make it easier for our 3 different, activities on Ship Shop, on TikTok, to be more successful. And I was hoping that we do a working session.
Are you looking for a working session or a brainstorm session? I think they're 2 different things.
I was hoping to do a working session where we actually walk out and say, hey, this is
Deliverables.
a deliverable and a workable script. If the best we can do is a brainstorm, I'm okay with that. But you've heard that your eyes kind of went big at a certain place
because
along
the other day
way.
you said something like hosting a meditation on a live.
Mm-hmm.
I think you dropped it in the middle of it, and I was like, you know what? That'd be pretty cool, right?
That would be pretty cool.
I think it's very important that we're clear on our version of a meditation. Understanding, Tamie, no disrespect or misunderstanding to the legacy that you come from, but the flow version that is energetic, neuroscience, and psychology of flow based. And we did that live. I think leading with something like that is a huge, it's not necessarily a sales pitch. You're living out what we said we wanted to create for people. And it makes it really easy to do because it's just organically what comes. Now, really the opportunity here then for Tamie, and that we really need from Tamie then, would be to kind of give that voice and tone to the guided meditation, as well as potentially give it to find somebody that can actually host like a live stream sound bath maybe for 10, 15 minutes before.
Oh, what's a sound bath like? Tell me what that, like if I were to walk into a cafe and it's a sound bath.
So it's like these beautiful stone pots, right?
Uh-huh.
And
stone or like ancient, like it just, there's different eras of sound bowls.
see, she's taking it, but they're bowls.
Yeah, but they're not just stone. They're like metal. They're all types.
Is this like a,
I just like the stone
so
ones because they're
maybe
pretty.
I do know what we're talking about. If you go hike Griffith Park at New Year's, at the first sunrise, there's usually somebody there doing something with like this and is making a sound.
Yeah, yeah, like
Is that what we're talking about?
And it's at a different it's a 528 frequency or
Well, they all have different
frequencies
bowls.
of
Different
sound.
bowls have different frequencies, but it just because if you really look at the science of it, your body has electric. Oh, That's not flow. Drink of flow.
There's different notes too.
There's different yeah, like but if you think about it, right? So you have we all have electromagnetic fields, right? Our body is going out of a vibration, a frequency from our energy. When you listen to sound and you mix that with sound, so a sound bath is meant to like clear your energy as well. And as if you're affected by those frequencies and that sound, then it comes into your energy and it changes your vibration.
It's not that.
So that's why
unfamiliar after all.
sound baths
I get
are
it.
really great. Like, I mean, they feel great. Some people fall asleep like Calvin.
And that's great to
If
fall
it's-
asleep.
it's-
Taking a 20-minute nap is great, right? We just talked about
No,
this.
it's great. If you fall asleep in meditation, it's deep rest. It's great. But he falls asleep everywhere, so it's,
That's because he needs it.
yeah, I don't know.
I did it with a group though, so then everyone else is hearing me like.
No, I had to like wake. I literally okay. We are like
But you were snoring
we
during
are-
the sound
we-
bath?
we were-
There's a didgeridoo going.
No, wait. But it was like, it was, I was like 3 people away from him. And I just was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to. And I look up and I'm like, is anyone going to like tap Calvin? And then I was like, okay, someone's going to do it. And then I was like, I kept looking up, but it was so dark in the pyramid. We were in a pyramid. It's called the Pyramid of Chi, and it's famous all over the world. It's in Bali. The sound of the dome creates the effect as well. It enhances the effect, and which is so. They also have these little mini dome now that are like $13,000 that you could sit in. They have it at the. They have it, anyways.
Can we build our own for less?
Yeah. It's just a dome.
Yeah.
But like, anyway, so we're in this thing, and it's like this crazy ancient sound bath special thing that we're doing, and then Calvin and I just hear
Oh my god!
like, and then literally I was like,
That's my
okay. I had to get up. I got up. Because they told us, like, the guy was like, hey, like, if anyone snores, we will have somebody come and like tap you because like everyone else is like,
Yeah.
around. And so I kept looking for the person because I was like, where are they? There's somebody over here. And they didn't come. So after like 10
Turns
minutes,
out that person was Calvin.
I finally got up and I like tapped Calvin. Like I had to be like,
I
Calvin.
also have like black sand in a bag over my eyes. It's like
It was an
green
eye
sand.
bag that like
So, like,
created
you're-
the darkness.
You're completely in darkness, and you're like
Laying
I'm
down.
hearing gongs and shit. It took 2 minutes. I was like. I was like, I sleep on planes. Like,
No, it's fine, but it was just really funny because I was like, it like messed up my thing for like 15 minutes. I kept waiting for somebody to come like get Calvin, and nobody did.
No hate. I have a similar story, but.
But
we'll
we
get
should
there
all
later.
go do a sound bath. I think they're great.
Does it require like a specific temple or $13,000?
No.
Does
like,
it work over speakers?
Yeah.
Can you do it over TikTok Live?
Yeah.
So so that's where we're okay.
People,
so we
you
can
could
do
go to
this.
YouTube and look up one or whatever it is, and you can still feel the frequencies and all that. But I love sound baths. I think it's a great way to just soothe and cleanse quickly and get yourself in a regulated space. And yeah, so I mean, if you just take away from it like some just deep rest, then cool. Like you need that. So anyways, yeah, you can do that on live if you want. I don't know,
Interesting.
Omri, is there stuff like that on TikTok Live as it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Russell does his meditations live on IG all the time.
Gene
Yeah.
Aiko buys and does them live. Like she's.
Yeah, my friend Scott, who you guys met, his aunt is the one that taught her.
She's in Hawaii. Yeah.
No.
haven't met Scott.
She's
Who's-
in Pals Fridays.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Scott,
So
the guy who came to Frank's birthday.
There were a lot of
got
things
you.
popping.
Yeah, I know Scott, the guy with the car guy, right?
Yeah, the car guy.
Yeah.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Laker fan.
Yeah.
The Laker fan car guy with a bunch of watches.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl ring.
Super Bowl ring. Yeah, he had a Super
That
Bowl
guy,
ring.
that
Yeah,
guy,
That
that
guy.
His aunt is the one that taught Janae.
Wow. Okay. So we get so our sound bath will be flowing.
So that's an
But just
interesting
all of that.
idea.
So we can, you could do that on TikTok, but I'm saying it's not original. But
It
we
doesn't
can,
have to be original. It just has to be our intention.
no, exactly, and that's fine. So that's one thing we can do on TikTok Shop. But what else?
Okay, we got.
That's
we
the
got one.
live, right? Like you can open with that and like bring, we can we can do our version of meditation, a guided
Are we
meditation.
just being like suckered
So if
into living in the digital realm?
We live in a digital realm.
If you choose to.
I think there's nothing wrong with the digital realm.
Yeah.
The issue is
It is
it's
what's
a new-
causing everybody
but
mental
it's a
health
new
issues.
technology that humanity has not yet understood the full implications of and how to live a balanced life with it, right? It's the same thing around nuclear technology, right? Use it for bombs if it kind of sucks. You watched Oppenheimer, right? But without it, like there's so much that's positive from it too. So to me, I think about all of this social media as not inherently evil, but a new technology that we as humanity need to understand how to optimize for.
I don't know. I feel like it's robbed people of their souls.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that. I think it has.
That's
But
why
I
we're
don't
going
think
out
it's
there
a-
and giving
yeah.
them their souls back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
That's tall order.
everything
Let's
is
go.
like
Here's your soul.
is
back,
your
guys.
intention, but like I'm gonna push for like in real life stuff. Like I almost like it's gonna be a time probably soon where like the people who aren't on it and things that you have to discover that aren't on social are gonna be probably the coolest things.
Okay.
But that's already true.
No, I mean there
Yes.
hasn't been something that popped off like that.
I mean, there's just nothing that competes with real, tangible person, like in real life connection. Like me being around your electromagnetic field and experiencing your your frequency as
I know, but we got to
As an
inspire
energetic
people
body,
to get
right?
out. You got to give reason to like give people like
I
they
didn't
did a
know
study.
you felt this way
So
about,
they did a
about
study.
our thesis.
No, I
that's
mean
what
it's
they
something
do.
that I've been feeling like that. Like as we sit and as we have these daunting conversations about how to break this out, like I just feel like there's this like two-sided, double-edged sword that's going on, right? Like they did this study with like the impact that like the retreat had in Bali was like people unplugged and connected and then you walked away. And anytime you take the break and hang out with your family or vacation, like you come back a little bit recharged, right? Because you took the time to just be present and be there, right?
Yeah.
If we really want to impact people and help change their lives with this, then we like have to facilitate like these in real life environments for them to do so, right? To motivate them to unplug where it's just not as so quick like, okay, I'm watching their mindfulness, a meditation. Now I'm just going to waste an hour still scrolling. Like it's like you got to get people off of their devices. They did this study. So right now there's a whole talk about removing like smartphones from the classroom, right? And Norway did this study where they had different levels of where they removed the smartphone from the classroom at different levels. Like some students had to turn it in the beginning of the day and didn't get back till the end. And some students turned it off like when class was in session. The students that had to turn in the phone from the beginning of the day increased their mental health, like their what is it called? How do I say it? Why am I like blinking? I'm sorry. Just their learning, like they performed better. Their performance improved in school. They were happier. All of that. And then the kids that actually had to turn off their phones, like just in between classes, it had a negative effect because they were so anxious to like get through the class to turn on their phone to see what their notifications were.
Wow.
So it's like there's an actual thing that happens when your phone is like close by to you. It still affects you and you're like anxious about it and you want to know what you're missing out on. But just the positive effect that they saw from the classroom that turned in their phone early in the day and knew they weren't going to get it back to the end. They were allowed to be present. They learned better. They performed better and they had a better social life and connected with their classmates. And thus their mental health went up. And so that's just a study in a classroom. Like, what do we think about like just us as humans? And so that's where as much as I love what social media does, and I don't want to be resistant to where we are headed with it, I just feel like what's gonna win here is like things that like pull you away from that, like staring at a screen all day.
Yeah, I mean, Huberman has done a ton of, like, he speaks to how much interacting with nature, like, has a massive impact, right? And I think it's one of those things like, if I understand it right, there's so many variables that you introduce when trying to test the impact of like nature versus no nature that it's impossible to actually pull together a really good empirical study. But there's just enough evidence that it's just kind of a given now within, scientific circles that interacting with nature has a massive positive effect on your total health, right?
Yeah, and you want to promote that.
Yeah, and I think that's a really thoughtful objective where, yes, maybe we're going to do this live session or whatever, but like actually close it in the right way that invites them to get the fuck outside, right?
Yeah, if you
That's
want to be
interesting.
that brand, I think it's great for us to utilize social media to produce great content, to give people knowledge, to share it, whether it's on YouTube with our podcast or creating like inspirational videos on TikTok or in Instagram and offering these services there, but like really knowing where we really want to draw like our impact from, which would be like the Flowin Cafe or our retreats and things like that. And I feel like that's where we really can make a difference. But like if you're trying to capture somebody on their phone, like we all do it. The minute you go on, you're like you're lost for a good 30 minutes minimum. Unless you have something else to do. Like people literally waste and you go on autopilot because now you're just in this like
All right. So we'll get them off autopilot. I think that's good. I have there's specific things I want to get done in this session.
okay.
I feel like
So
I
I'm
cut
just
you
saying
off,
we
but-
can do the marketing, we can do the stuff that we want to offer on those platforms, but I don't like that's not where I want to really like be. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
And we don't need
I like-
Tamie to be there except for the lives that we're doing the hosted sessions on. That's the only place.
Omri,
I
there you
like-
go. Take it over.
I like.
Or
I
unless
like what you
Omri's
said.
gonna take over and
No,
and
I could do the stuff.
I think
just,
Omri should do it.
I mean, why is nobody ever asking me to do these things?
No, honestly, Bert, you're
can't sing,
great
I
at
can't
it. Your
dance.
videos are great. Honestly, Bert might be the guy for like our TikTok videos because killed it with
No.
those hiking ones and the dog one.
Okay, so we've brainstormed one session on TikTok Live. There's
Well, no,
many
there's
others.
Okay,
a
what's
TikTok
our
live.
sales
We can,
pitch?
yeah. Okay.
we
Go
do
ahead.
that.
Sales pitch.
Yeah, and unfortunately, what I think of is what are those like as seen on TV? That's what I think about when I think of live selling, right? And so I like that we are taking a very different tact. Next question, and this is probably going to be oriented towards Jay a little bit, is we're going to be reaching out to a bunch of affiliates. Let's imagine Lou and Oos, right? Let's ask them. It's like, hey, you know what? We're going to be doing a massive cut, 25% to, I forget what it's called, but yeah, like earn 25% of the sale, do whatever as an affiliate. When you're engaging potential affiliates, what do you want to ask them to do? What do you want to ask them to say? How much do you want to leave for them to kind of, fill in the blanks themselves? Like, how would you want to provide guidance to our affiliate partners on TikTok?
Loaded question, right? So there's what we can do today, right? And every brand is a journey. We're a relatively young brand. We're relatively early in our journey, so that we're building the content depth. We're building the knowledge set and that tribal knowledge of life, living in flow every day. And we're beginning, right? So today, the invitation for an ambassador affiliate would be to join us at a missional level of celebrating and demonstrating this idea of living in flow, this idea of living in our authenticity at our highest frequency, and finding a way to make sure that affiliate jives with our mission. As the life content system fills out and it develops further, hopefully we're getting affiliates out of the consumers of that product, right? But today, as it relates to how I think we kind of approach affiliates on TikTok would be to just present where we are, what we are, right? We're a mindfulness community and platform that meets the hottest beverage in the world.
So now imagine we've succeeded. Lou or Oos has created an affiliate shoppable video. What do you imagine that video looks like? What are they saying? What are they doing?
That's taking away from the creativity
Okay,
of
so
the,
now,
of the
so
of
let's
that.
say you have 5,000 followers and you decided, yeah, I want to be an affiliate for Flowin. What would you create? What would you do? Because this is actually
Workout.
This is actually where I'm actually.
See, why
having
you go there? Like, why can't I could sing the Little Mermaid song?
I am not enough.
He can. You
Um,
can.
I'm enough. I'm enough.
He can choreograph a K-pop performance. I think that would be great.
He lifts crystals.
If I was Luanus, I would no wait.
No, what
would I personally do?
You're an affiliate.
Yeah, like what's
Yeah.
your video?
And you are trying to make a 25%
But if I'm
rip.
so if I'm an affiliate, then I'm essentially a content creator first, already.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
And so the content that I would create personally, if I spent time being a content creator, my content platform would be about entrepreneurship and mindfulness, right?
Okay.
So that's what I would create content around, just entrepreneurship and how leveraging our product from a coffee standpoint to energize, and then leveraging mindfulness, meditation, breath work, engaging in sound bath, like all of that. It would be content around that. Maybe how I'm doing through my journey, right? Like, hey, like I would be like, look, I started this coffee company. It's difficult. Things are hard. First thing I do is definitely not pick up my phone in the morning. First thing I do is actually read my flow book, right? I'll read some lines that inspire me from any book that have to do with championing an optimal state of consciousness, an optimal experience of life, and making sure that, for the most part, as from this entrepreneurship, are you going to let me riff on this, like just and go?
Yeah. And
Okay, so yeah, I would just be
absolutely.
like, hey, look, as an entrepreneur, right? A lot of the times you're just addicted to the outcome, right? Like you're judged on the outcome. Ooh. And what I've learned over the last 20 years of being an entrepreneur is like the outcome doesn't mean shit. The journey actually doesn't mean that much either, because you forget most of it. The only thing that matters and you remember are the people that were there crying with you and sharing with you along the way. And that's why this podcast is called The Company. And I've never done a good job of memorializing these things. And, come time, like companies rise and they fall, right? Businesses rise and fall over time. And so the what you have at the end of the day, in the span of what an 80-year life is just a collection of memories of the people that came along with. And so you get to choose at the beginning of every day as an entrepreneur, and especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, the most important thing is not cash. It's not even customers. You need people and resources doing things, and you need an army. You need people to create and fill out the vision that you have. And the best entrepreneurs paint the vision, and the team goes out there and fills it out, right? Sometimes it's not exactly what you think it's going to look like. In the process, in the journey of that, if you're so attached to the outcome all the time, is like you're just forcing things to happen. And I went through at least 15, 20 years of entrepreneurship where it's like, got to force things to happen and grind that shit into existence. And it doesn't work. Taking a step, actively detaching from your business and almost observing yourself from a third person and being able to do that, being mindful enough to be present, being aware of how you just responded to a situation. Information comes into the brain, you make a decision, and a lot of those decisions you don't even know you're doing. You just did them because your subconscious mind is programmed to tell you, oh, that probably didn't feel good, so biochemicals pop, and you just do something. And a lot of the times it's those little stupid things you did that, and it's not these big decisions that change your business, it's all the little scratches that you make on the people around you. That's what actually changes your business. How you show up to a meeting on a Monday, how I show up to the Monday call, the energy that I bring to that call will make the difference for the week. Every call that I'm in, it's not even about what I have to offer. It's about my energy that I bring into the meeting, how I open that meeting, people are looking. They can feel your energy. And so I'm riffing all this saying like my content would be about entrepreneurship and flow, and leveraging flow to be your best self and to live like that, to create the most happy journey for those around you.
I think I'm kind of inspired. Now, what's your CTA?
Huh?
CTA.
Call to action.
My call to action
With
would
the
be
Flowin can.
sign up for free to our platform. Sign up for free. You'll get an email every
Where are you
day.
going to mention TikTok Shop?
Oh, TikTok Shop?
This is for the affiliate program.
TikTok Shop affiliate program.
Oh, this is right. That's right. Buy some coffee. Get some coffee. It's good for you. It's the best coffee. Like if you want to energize, you can go buy that shit on the shelf from everybody else. But dude, this stuff is the best stuff on earth. It's clearly the best stuff on earth. I mean, come on. And when you drink it, listen, hear me out. Okay, wait, you're gonna go. Okay. You have all these other brands that might add functional to it, right? But what we do is we infuse our fucking intention into what this is. And you might believe it, you might not believe it. But every moment of every day, this team and this community, right, is putting intentional energy into our product. And when you participate with this product, you get a piece of that energy. It's not just about what's in the can. It's the energy that's in the can. It's not the ingredients in the can. It's the energy in our cans. It's the energy of everything that we fucking do, right? You walk into our cafe, you're disarmed. It's not the cafe. It's the energy that we've created that you're participating in. So what I'm welcoming anybody to do on TikTok Live, TikTok Shop, TikTok Anywhere, YouTube, Instagram, anything is come participate with our energy and get to flow.
I think that's shoppable. Is there a way to? Okay, so I'm actually going to do my riff. And
go.
see if we can actually turn 3. After that, you get a shoppable video, and then let's see if Tamie wants to riff after. I don't know how much we'll edit, but I'll just speak from the heart, right? I think about consumer products, and I think about what they've contributed and done for me and society in general and the world that I live in. And we speak very specifically about, I'll classify them as status brands, right? Brands that trade on status, brands that say, you know, this is the most expensive this out there. And they lean on something, they lean on that temptation that says, you know what, you're not good enough, but if you have this, you are. And I think about consumer brands that lean on that and how much they've inundated that message into our society, into the universe, and how that's affected human society in so many different ways. Americans, Chinese now, everybody, right? Falling into this pattern of consumerism that's based on the thesis that, or not even a thesis, a feeling that I'm not good enough. That will make me feel good enough. And you know what? When you buy that specific handbag or that car, it feels pretty good for a little while. And then you realize it wears off and now you're off chasing the next item. I think about other consumer products and I think about The Honest Company or Tom's. There was a very specific generation about a decade and a half, 2 decades ago, where there was a specific intent to say, hey, you know what, we're going to be responsible as consumer products companies to encourage one another to do better. And the messages that were put out there were healthier. I don't know where Tom's is. I don't see anybody wearing those ugly shoes anymore. And I think about that, and it makes me a little bit sad, right? I wish these are the companies that took over the world and continue to perpetuate a healthier message and put that out into the universe and out in the ether and out into the world. But that's what we're doing with a big beverage brand. Small now, but I think about all the Coke and Pepsi and Red Bull commercials I saw growing up and how much those in simple little ways affected my subconscious, right? Gatorade did some pretty cool stuff, got me outside, made me feel like, hey, you know what, that's cool. And I want our brand 10, 20 years from now to have survived and for us to be able to look back and say, we've put out billions of advertising content. We've put out billions of hours of content that supports this notion that you are good enough. There's an optimized way for you to live your life that allows you to generate internal happiness. That you are coming from a place that literally overflows with love that you can give back to your community. That you don't have to just be a vacuum sucking, and telling yourself, I'm good enough if. When I buy that thing, I'm good. No. You're a wellspring that has so much to offer the person next to you and the person next to you. And if we put that in the ether, a decade, 2 decades of it, and our brand has contributed to other brands pushing this message into the universe, I'm going to be really, really proud of it. We've created a vessel to help carry that message, and it's a good coffee beverage. Support it, buy it. If you want that message to be out there for the next decade, 2 decades, and you think that our coffee is good enough to be the vessel to help you carry that, be with us. Omri's with us, Calvin's with us, Jay, Tamie, Lou, Oos. People, these are people that are with us, that want us to be part of sharing that message, building a brand that will perpetuate a positive paradigm for the rest of us, all of us, for the next decade, 2 decades. Be with us, support us, buy a bunch of coffee, share it with your friends. When you have that fancy brunch, this is the one you serve. And just kind of hint, hey, there's a little bit more to this than just a really good coffee. That's what my ask is. That's what my call to action is. I got one. You want to give it a go, or you want to save it for next
I
one?
will save mine. I am a little too exhausted, but I will call out Calvin into this podcast before it's up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's drag him
That's
in.
what I do.
Welcome, Calvin.
Welcome, Calvin.
Look
our
at this
amazing
guy,
creative
our
director.
creative director, videographer, as well as model talent and actor in one. Literally
And-
the embodiment of living in flow.
Yes.
The artist, the creator, the entrepreneur, the doer, Calvin.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really love being a part of Flowin. No, I don't talk like that. I'm just kidding.
But that would be so cool. Can you do the
so
rest of this
sick.
segment like that?
I wish I talked like that.
Can you do it though? Can you just stay in character?
Just when I'm writing my music and creating all
We
these
should
creations.
do voices right now. We should all do
Oh
voices.
my gosh.
I'm gonna go full Southern now.
Oh my
I
gosh.
studied 10 years in Bali, just meditating and creating life's message for this.
So how y'all like the States? I mean, are you black by Texas or something like that?
Anyways,
No, I talk like this.
Okay.
it's so great to have Calvin here with us because he lives in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. And we don't get to see each other in real life, but we are on the phone all the time. Last time I seen Calvin was in Bali, right?
Really?
That was last
It was
time.
that long ago?
Yeah.
That was
On a
4
2-week trip.
months ago. Wow.
Yeah, it was the last time I saw her.
And I think obviously I believe everything is destined in this life in a way. People come into your life for a reason, and Calvin is one of those people. Everyone on the team really came together for a reason, and we share a similar energy and passion for the mission. Calvin, since you've been joining the team, I know our first conversation when, we worked on another project together and you hit me up and said, like, what are you working on now? Yada, yada, yada. And I told you about Flowin. And what?
No, nothing.
What?
Nothing. No, I was just another project.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just go for it.
Yes. And you loved it. And
Yeah.
from that moment on, like, you've been on this journey of flow. You were already on a journey of flow, I think, before that call, and it just aligned that this is the journey that you were trying to be on. And since then, you've learned about what we're trying to do. You learned more about me and like what we speak about in terms of what flow means, what living in flow means in many different ways, from the science aspect to it, to the spiritual aspect to it, to whatever, all the different variations and forms that can take into flow, right? That can take form. But and then you came with me on the first Flowin retreat in Bali.
Crazy.
And that was an amazing experience,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to let you talk about everything, but I wanted to just kind of prelude this to like, I feel like it's been great for me as somebody who's been down this journey for quite some time. What I love about it is hearing your experience and Jay's experience and people who are kind of discovering these tools in a new way and incorporating it in their life and seeing how it's affected them and changed their lives in a positive way. And you've shared some amazing things with me. So, you know, if you feel like sharing that here today.
So
that
you
would
want
be
me to
great.
remember like Bali? Like, I mean, the call was insane to just get because I was already starting with you guys and I was kind of starting on the path of understanding what even breath work is or meditation, like the idea of that, and then hearing what you guys said with the science behind it and hearing you guys kind of mesh the two of where you've studied, you know, talking about even Joe Dispenza, and then that stuff is so dense that that was like the beginning for me of like hearing that. I've heard of that stuff and I grew up in Hawaii, so it's a lot of that culture's there, but to know that you don't need to be this like monk, you know, in the temple to do it, you could just do it at home. And the goodness of it, how good it is for you. So yeah, and then you called me for that, and then it started becoming a thing. I think, or I ended up writing something about it, which I'll share. But it became a thing where I started realizing that I'm not only like helping create the vision for this brand, and you say like I live as a flowing person, like it's just naturally how everything in my life has been, just like adapt, like to everything and just go with the flow, literally. But then I started noticing that I'm like, what you guys are trying to teach, I'm actually becoming a student of, and in the process of the business development, along with the messaging, I'm one of those people that are learning with it and becoming, you know, like seeing what it is. So it's like when you guys have something, I'm actually learning, and it's like work and play, or work and learn, like, you know,
Yeah.
studying at the same time. So
Right.
that's been incredible. So yeah.
Yeah, you are the example of like demonstrating.
I'm the mascot.
Celebrating, living in flow, and what, you know, how Flowin
Yeah.
as a company, as a brand, as a mission has, you know,
Jay
has
wants
it
to say
relates to
something.
you.
I'm not saying anything.
And I just, you know, we were talking about like everybody's like reason for, you know, wanting to galvanize interest and support and grow the community. And I just remember you wrote something really beautiful.
Yeah. So what I wrote was, it sounds really dramatic now looking back.
But bring us to
But
the
it was
drama.
after
But it was
a
right
meditation.
And then do it in
after-
the Australian
No, but
accent.
No.
Yeah, do it, the whole thing. I'll
It
do
was
it.
after a meditation, right?
I do it in an Indian accent. No,
No, do not do
no,
that.
I'm kidding.
Just like you said, go back to your country in a country accent.
Yeah,
and then
no.
invite-
So I just got back from Bali, and it's like meditation every morning, yoga, going to a temple with the locals only, of waterfalls and doing blessings. And so I was just in my feels. But I wrote, it's like my goal with this brand is to commit my life to being like a part of flow, being thankful for the work I'm receiving and make it the best it could possibly be, giving every ounce of my effort along with carrying that same respect for myself, enough to push and work for my own story that will only like benefit me and the company at the same time. This is the time I'm documenting that I will be dedicating not only to my time, but my whole being to flow. Oh, sorry, I messed that part up. Embracing the path in life will not only allow me to embody the teachings through firsthand experience, but I will also become a living testament to the transformative power of Flowin's lessons. By applying these principles, I aim to achieve bliss and success, becoming an integral part of the brand's narrative and my own success story. Flowin's teachings will guide me in discovering my flow, harnessing it as a powerful force that enriches every facet of my life, be it business, mindset, art, passions, or my relationships and family and friends. So,
That's
beautiful,
beautiful.
right?
Jinx, Tamie.
I'll read it again. Is that
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So thank you for that. That was
Of course,
beautiful.
yeah. No, I'm really, I'm so thankful for the opportunity. I've worked in a lot of like, you know, with all the different things I do, it's like having a brand with a message, like, and it feels like it's not about money or the product or the thing. It's just literally you get the passion you guys have to really share this message, and even opening a cafe where you're like, how can we get people to like breathe and meditate and be present. And it's just like, it's been such a journey and beautiful. Like, I'm so thankful for it. And that's it. Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
No, I think that's like when they were talking, I was like, I just remembered what you said, and I was like, that is what like my mission is, to like share that, right? And I hope like whatever we share and teach, like people can take that and enrich their lives, and they understand that what we're trying to share is powerful for them, or
For
a
sure.
gift.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to be like learning and a student, but it's just like, it's the best thing to do, like to just learn all this stuff. It's really cool. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my I couldn't be anywhere here today to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. It was touching. I remembered it, and I'm glad you're here to share it with us and with the community of people. This is the mission that we are on, and it starts with the people we work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Calvin is like, you are the embodiment of like a modern creator, right? Like creativity. I think today, especially right now, what is valuable is our authentic creativity, and you're packed with it, with the love for music, love for film, love for anything that is about expression. I don't know if I want to ask you questions. Can I ask you questions?
Yeah, of course.
And I'm just going to ask you questions about your creative expression, and I'm not going to ask you to tie that back into flow. I'm just going to ask you to share a little bit about where that passion comes from. What drew you to music? When did you know you were into music? When did you know you were into these arts?
From the jump, I just got obsessed with guitar. I was like, my mom pulled out a Yamaha like acoustic guitar, and she showed me a little line, like a little Spanish song. And then I just was like, couldn't let it go. I would do it every day. Like,
How old were you?
4 or 5. And I was like, she showed me that, and I was like practicing that. But then she said I would like, just like attack it, hit it, touch, like do anything I could to make noises with it and practice. Like I learned how to like put like one finger from the top all the way to the bottom and just like be like just silly stuff. But I wasn't necessarily really good at all of a sudden. It's, it took a lot of work, but. And then music in general, like just CDs, records. I grew up with a lot of records, and my grandfather had like film cameras, records, and all this stuff. I was just like anything expressing, paintings. I grew up around a lot of art, so that's just all was like, yeah. And then I saw Slash from Guns N' Roses, and I was done. I was like, I'm gonna do that. So
Then how did the videography? How did the getting into video film?
I've always like known visually what I liked, but I didn't really ever practice it. I mean, besides the phone, I feel like today everyone has literally a camera in their pocket, and it's like everyone's somewhat of a photographer, videographer now. And I used to build guitars, and I went to this bass jam or this jam session, and this guy that I built a guitar for, I saw his house and everything, and I was like, what do you do? And I was like, I want to know what you do for a living. And he's like, I film weddings. And I was like, let's go. And then I did a weekend of that with him, and then I saw the check, and I was like, what am I doing working in a wood shop? I was like, I just start filming. And I just started doing photography and videography with weddings. And then that that kind of got boring, and I was like, I can create anything, like music videos or ads. I started realizing all the opportunities there.
Okay, so now I'll tie this into flow. And when Tamie reached out to you and said, hey, like this is another go around at potentially Coffee Space and a new project, and you came online, like what if there was one thing that caught your attention, what was it about Flowin and flow?
That feeling of just, I feel like I was on the road and just everything was a rush. Like so much was happening, and being present was like, I kept getting hints of that, like someone just being, you need to be more. And I've been told like, you're such a present human, and I'm like, oh, thanks. But I was like, I felt like everything was like, I was always thinking ahead, or like thinking, what can I do next? What can I do? And I remember just talking to Tamie and like hearing her kind of testimony and saying what you're feeling about all this stuff. It was just like, just really like slowing down and being right. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And then that just kind of kept playing in my head, and that's what it really resonated with me. And then I don't know, Tamie just has that presence too, where she'll like, yeah, she'll calm you down, or she'll give you the stink eye real quick too.
I do wear my emotions on my face.
But no, like that's really what the first thing that drew me for sure. Just like understanding that it's all just being present and all. I guess that's kind of like
Has it helped with creativity? Has it helped with your vocation?
everything. Yeah, I mean every single thing that you guys all do, I'm like just trying to learn from. Like it's taught me to be way more organized, even though I'm still really bad with communication and certain other things like sometimes. But like I was learning how to be better at all these things just through like the practices of that business wise and everything. I just see how it affects love. I see how it affects my family. Like, and they see what I'm making with you guys too. And they're like, this is cool. This is amazing. And you see people light up that when you talk about a message rather than a, like, oh, try this coffee.
Yeah.
And then people are like, wait, so it's a coffee brand? I'm like, it's everything. It has every meaning to it. Like we have a community, we have coffee, we have workshops, we got, so there's a lot coming too. It's like, it's a good community. So.
And then when you look forward over the night, like let's just say in the next 6 months, right?
We are a mindfulness.
What,
Yeah.
like what one thing that, like if you can name one thing that you're most excited to work on with Flowin, let's just say, what would that be?
I come from the commercial production side. So like making like the ultimate, like big movie type, like video, just like this big visual experience that shows every part of us, where it integrates like every coolest trick I have up my sleeve in one big cinema. Like, so, some of it can go into like crazy animations or something, and then it can go into like all these visual camera tricks all in one to express every message like somehow. That's kind of like, I can't wait to be able to do that. But that stuff takes a lot of like production.
That's amazing
and time.
synchronicity, because on the way here in the car, we were like talking about ideas, and I just daydreamt about being able to do a big production for a commercial as well. So it's funny that you say that. So Jay, we need to get into the funding.
Well, you see a lot of brands like have like short films or like little documentary pieces and things, and you can like watch like even like for race cars, Pennzoil, they drop all this money on these crazy productions, and sometimes it can be like you can make bigger productions without even a big budget, but it's just the time and the intention and those things,
Right.
and telling a story. And so,
And you have to
So
have
how much
a
budget
bigger,
do you need to do this commercial
Not
that you
much.
guys have
I mean, you
envisioned?
could
Not
do
much.
$14,000, $10,000.
Sure.
$14,000.
I can work any deliverable into any budget.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you need to have some budget to like do more than like an iPhone or our phones or our cameras that we have
so
now.
basically we need 15 grand for the commercial that we want to make.
And depending on what we reference, I mean, there's so many different styles and ways to like have other, like we're a community too. So it's like having other artists join in. Like it's not just me. I'm not the only creative out there. There's so many other brains.
So is this an open call for creatives?
Yeah, exactly.
In this episode?
Imagine a movie where every single scene is like someone else's greatest.
So if you are a
strength.
creator and you are watching this pod, please reach out to us. We would love to find alignment with you. And potentially, if there is that alignment and you're vibing what we do and our mission, then we'd love to work with you and partner with you on making this epic thing, this epic creation of a cinematic, right?
Yeah,
Cinematic.
multiple of them. I think it's it'd be even fun to host a huge thing where everyone's creating their own thing and then you put it into one piece. Like there's so many ways to do it, but through time, I think with what we're doing, we're doing it fun. I made a beat with a can the other day, and
That was dope.
Next thing is who knows? You know what I mean? I don't know. So we'll just
Yeah.
keep going. But there's musicians, there's artists, there's painters, there's film photographers, there's so many other people, designers, like After Effects, crazy 3D animators. There's so many ways to go, and there's a way to transition into each one to make one big collection. So that's like to answer that question. So the dream is like to make something like that and watch it on a big screen with everybody and be like, that was sick.
Yeah, have it play in
And
Times
Bali.
Square.
Yeah.
Whoa, we are really specific here.
Or
Okay,
cafe can have
let's
movie
manifest it. Let's manifest it.
Yeah, I mean, imagine having a campaign that large that's on Times Square, telling people that they are enough, telling people to breathe, to be present,
And to live in flow.
and to live in flow. Yeah, and have that message be spread across the streets all over LA, or and being the company and the team that did that. Like that's real meaning for me and real purpose right there, because we want to touch and uplift as many people as we can with this message, right? Because it's the truth. We know this to be true, right? and we all look outside. We say this over and over again. The answers are within. You take the time to connect with yourself and to love yourself. Everything else around you will begin to change, and the beauty around you will begin to change and enhance. And so, and you can attract and manifest anything at that point. So, you know, instead of looking at a world where everyone's just lonely and sad, like I don't know. We gotta change shit up. So.
Let's do it.
Darkness, my old friend.
We need the budget, Jay.
Okay, got it. We are in our next podcast. We will be talking about
Commercial budgets.
creating budget, and we'll talk about
Oh my
maybe
God.
fundraising.
I will miss that podcast.
And you know, for some of our audience who's interested in learning a little bit about the fundraising journey and watching that happen and come together
Yeah,
with
let's
us,
talk about it.
will be fun.
Yeah, we'll talk
right.
about it.
Sounds good.
Startup life.
Thank you, Calvin.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Welcome
much,
to
Calvin.
Cali.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I can't wait to be here one day.
We talked about a lot. We did a lot. We got good stuff. Thank you, Calvin. Let's close it out, baby.
All right.
Let's close it out.
So,
Let's see.
this is how we usually do at the end of each sesh. We each pull a card.
And then he asks one of us.
No, it's for him. It's for him.
Ah, you have to answer it. Okay.
But sometimes we do like that person's, or we all answer it. But I think it just should be that person.
How would you describe the feeling of being in love in one word?
One word.
In one word?
In one
We'll-
word.
We'll let you expand.
No, why? Oh, you want to do a different card?
No,
No,
it's you.
it's
you're
your
supposed
card.
to.
You
You're
have to
supposed to
answer
answer it.
I thought I pull it for you. Okay.
No,
well, in
you
one
answer.
word, of being in love. In one word.
Let's be very immature.
Oh man.
Bert.
Of being, I don't know. How do you describe it in one word? Enchantment.
That's a good one. I was going to say ecstasy, but yeah. that's a
Oh,
good one.
whoa. Dang, that's a strong word.
Hey, y'all. Tamie got something better than me, man.
What was your word? One word.
It was going to either be comfortable or safe.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's marriage for you.
Sorry, Ashley.
No.
Sorry.
Safe is really, feeling safe is very important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, hon.
Bert, you go next.
Apparently, there's this next level called ecstasy. We'll get there, baby. Year 20, we'll get
No,
there.
that actually, the ecstasy wears off really quickly.
Dude,
Yeah.
Ashley used to drop like 3 times a week. That homegirl.
Wait,
Am I
what?
at the right
Did you
level?
just out
Are
your...
you
We're not talking
serious?
about drugs.
What? Are you
Yeah,
serious?
homegirl, like, yeah.
That's
she's-
my girl.
She's an
Like,
animal. You have no idea. She was like, "You were doing what, Bert? God, you're a loser." This is where we're like.
Did you just out your wife?
Like, remember, like Giant, and like she was opening those shops up. Yeah, dude. I told you
She was like a real
I
K-pop
told you she
girl,
went to
right?
like Otis, right? Like all our students, they were the first ones like figuring out what ecstasy is. She brought that to LA.
Is that staying in?
I don't care.
Oh, dang.
not like Ashley's ever
Okay,
gonna
if you're
watch.
going to ruin our chances of Joanne to flow, you know, I'm just saying.
Hey man, she not like she's ever
Just
gonna
went,
watch.
I don't know. You can show it to her. Maybe.
Level
Ooh.
three.
Level 3 reflection. What do you think my defining characteristic is?
Oh.
What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to answer myself?
No, we answer for you. Wait. What does it say? What
Oh,
do
you guys have to
Wait,
answer.
what do you think? Yeah.
Okay, so you guys answer. What do you think my defining characteristic is? That's tough. Oof.
There's so many great things about
Ecstasy.
you. You go
Defining
first. Can you go first?
characteristic.
Defining characteristics. I don't have one.
You just said random, and I think that's pretty much.
Random, but also what's better for me is like good-hearted.
I'll take it. That's randomly good-hearted, dude. That's not bad.
No,
Thank you,
not,
Tyler.
But
not
defining,
together.
defining
Yeah,
characteristic.
I think, don't you think he has a
Yeah, he has a good heart.
yeah?
But it was like, what makes him unique and defines Bert?
Oh, defining like
Yeah.
that. I thought it was for me. Random.
Yeah.
Random.
I would just say I would love like you just drop out of things like you just duck out like and disappear
You're just
randomly.
special.
I think disappearing randomly is your defining characteristic.
Top of the morning to you with my Irish goodbyes. it's
That's a horrible Irish accent, by the way.
It's Irish Spring.
That's a
Guys,
horrible
we are
accent.
all over the like oh my god.
My God.
Okay.
What level is this? Okay. Nobody's like, you guys got to put the cart back in the section.
Oh, my
we'll,
bad.
we'll
Okay,
clean them
like-
up
Shoot.
and we'll do it.
Okay.
Just so you know, like, there's a rhythm. to
One day
this.
we'll actually level 3 snap.
Oh, it's a red card.
Oh,
What's it say?
Admit something.
Oh.
It's a wild card.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't want to. I'm so private. This is crazy. It's very uncomfortable. What do I
last
want to admit? I don't know. There's so many things.
We'll include like a spinning clock.
Dude,
on it.
it's not stopping. I have no idea.
I
Admit something.
bye bye bye. Did I date some?
No.
Have you dated a pop star before?
Yes, I've dated a pop star before, but I'm not saying who
But
in this episode.
you gotta
No.
admit.
What? That's not admitting like it's something bad. That was great. You guys aren't gonna like it, but like I stole origami paper in elementary school.
We love it.
Oh my god.
I used to go in the
Finally.
library and steal. Like the librarian would have
Why
origami
would you
paper,
do something so evil?
Judge
and
Jay.
and it would have her. You know, like back in the day, the schools had like inside desks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and she would always have the stack of origami paper in there, and I would just go in on lunch or something and just take a bunch.
Did you borrow it or steal it?
I stole it because I took it and I made origami.
Do you know what the Japanese used to do to people that stole?
I did. I've stolen a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Dang,
so
girl, add T to thief. Shit.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You know
Okay.
what? What I learned is actually how you react to it. How old were you?
I was in elementary school, like 7 years old.
You were 7 years old. Origami, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You were a kid, and I get it. You could, it's not good to steal. But like, if I did that, I'm over it. I'm already owning up to it. The fact that you reacted the way you did to that specific memory that far away, 30 years ago, tells me a lot about you.
Did you just out hurt? Like, wait, dude, bro.
17 years ago?
There you go.
I don't care, guys.
I mean,
love
it's
my age.
yeah. Yeah,
Me too.
dude.
Yeah. It's like it's great being
Like,
27.
I
Kind
would
of
never want to
interesting.
be like that young and dumb again.
But the fact that
I love being
Man.
young and dumb. Speak for yourself.
yeah, it's interesting.
What?
It's interesting
Hard
how
being
you're
27.
reacting. How you're reacting to your 7-year-old self right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember carrying shame about that. Like, oh, you don't want to tell anybody
Whoa.
you did that.
I'm kidding. It's fucking paper.
I know.
Like,
Jay,
I stole
it's
toothpaste.
it's not fucking
Like,
paper. They're cut in squares.
I
dude.
mean, they are cut in square and they're color. Or did you just buy get the white ones?
No, they were all different colors. It was so pretty. Like some
Oh,
were
got it,
metallic
okay.
and some were like it was
Yeah.
like good.
You got the foil ones?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're truly going to hell. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But I would make the origami and give it to people, like my friends.
So you're like Robin Hood.
She's Robin Hood. She stole from
I
the
would make
evil
it.
librarian
Yeah,
who
there you
has
go.
origami paper stack.
and then just make a bunch of cranes and like give it to friends.
Oh, the cranes.
That's
the
cute.
cranes. That's
It's
cute.
not so bad after all.
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So last time we did this, we talked about one of our favorite Disney movies, Little Mermaid. I kind of want to talk about another movie that these youngins don't know anything about. Because like apparently we grew up with all these dope movies and like people like Omri are clueless to them. We talked about Men of Society today, how dope that was.
Yeah.
If you
Gotta
could-
teach these kids about life.
If you could recommend a movie that you're pretty confident is too old for them to have watched, what would it be? Like a good one. A good movie.
Don't be a menace.
Don't be a menace.
And that would teach them something?
No, just like, hey man, like us millennials and Gen Xers.
I mean, E.T..
We're not that lame after all. And
I mean,
No,
I don't know who
'cause
knows
Everybody's
about
watched
it.
E.T.
if you watch
Yeah.
E.T., if E.T.'s us, then we're a little bit lame.
Like,
It's something good.
what do you mean something good? American History X?
Oh, that was horrible. I wouldn't want. That was
Imagine watching that for my
Omri.
like.
bad. The
how-
world was so angry
Wait,
back
when
then.
did when
Have you
did,
watched
when
American
did
History
no?
X?
But that was on. When did that
Good one.
movie come out? What year?
Shit.
Can you check what year that came out?
I'm gonna guess around year 2000.
Okay, how old was I?
American History X. Like, look it up, please.
1998. So I was 12 years old. That so okay. Well, guess what? On my 12th birthday, I had a party at my house and a sleepover.
Why would you watch that?
Went to Blockbuster and
What's
rented.
Blockbuster?
Went to Blockbuster with all my girlfriends and got the candies and we went home and watched American History X. Like, what were my parents thinking? Like,
What were they thinking? They let
You know what
rent
they're
that?
I
thinking?
was so traumatized from that movie. Yeah.
You know what? They've watched it before. They're
I
like,
grew up
this is
watching-
perfect for T. This
I
is
grew-
what she needs to
Guys,
watch so she can get toughened up like they were.
When Don't Be a Menace came out when I was 7, I watched that at 7 years old with my brother. I watched like Friday. I watched all of those movies, like Boys in the Hood, all of them at like 7, 8, 9. I was just that I already knew about it.
Actually, you know what? Those movies are all good. I didn't watch them all, but I actually highly recommend American History X.
I do too. I think it's a great story. It's not great to watch it at so young, but I think it's I think you should watch movies about like real life and back then, like that's how the real world is. And I feel like now look at like
But it was
these younger
that way.
generations
Do you-
are
It's no
so
longer
sensitive.
like that. Yeah.
It's still no.
Well, I'm
there's-
27, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I just feel like the generation now is so sensitive. Like you get mad over like somebody calling some like the wrong thing. It's so sensitive. But if you look back in the day, like Jesus, you would have not survived.
I'm gonna try to remember.
Right,
I'm gonna
but
try
like these days, you're not worried about the dude like that's openly carrying a gun. You're worried about the dude that might show up with a gun. It's a different vibe.
So, if I remember correctly, the movie is about a clique. Well, it's Ed Norton is the main character.
Uh-huh.
He comes from a clique of skinheads from I think Huntington Beach, or at least that area.
I love Ed Norton.
And then he does some stupid shit and goes to jail. He was like the leader of that group.
Well, don't tell the whole story because I'm
No, but this is a synopsis, right? Goes to jail. He has a younger brother. And I think it's Joaquin Phoenix's younger brother, the good-looking one. Was it?
not
Joaquin Phoenix
is
is not the good-looking one.
No.
No, I don't think that was him. I
Oh.
forget his name. Well, maybe it was him. I don't think.
But he has a younger brother, and the younger brother is supposed to, like, I don't know, I think he got like a bad score, even though he's a really good writer. And his history teacher, his black history teacher, like makes him like redo a report. It's like, what you wrote was a bunch of shit. You need to redo this or you're going to fail or whatever. And in that process, he, interacts with his brother. His brother goes to his own learning in jail. And it's actually a great story. I don't know if there's a redemption story arc in it, but I thought it was actually really, really good. Great story, like violent as fuck, but it was good, dude. Ed Norton picks good scripts, good movies.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and all these movies really shaped my childhood.
Is that why you're so angry?
Have you
No,
ever
it's
curbed?
because I'm Vietnamese. I'm just kidding.
She curbs stuff.
Is that why
for
you
us.
need flow so badly in your life?
Omri, watch that movie. Let's talk
Okay.
about it next week.
All right, guys. So we're closing out.
We're
Yeah.
closing out. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. We'll do another working session next
Hey,
week.
see you next time.
See you next time.
Live and flow.
Let's go.